All right. We are live, guys. All right, guys. You want to introduce yourselves?
We're live, guys. Oh shit! Hold on.
Ryan, you want to start? Or
Yeah, I'm Ryan from RPS Dent Specialist out of Baltimore, Maryland.
David with Windy City Dent Repair out of Chicago.
and of course, Chris, Dennis Touch, Washington, D.C. So we're gonna wait till the room actually fills up. Got two watching now, so let's see. So you want to start off with some tools until the room gets full, or starts filling up?
Sure. Got a couple things here if you want me to start.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I've been using this. Whenever you're using the cold toe cut, you have to use some type of a compound to polish it out, either with a buffer or by hand. I originally started using the 3M polish, and the 3M polish just seemed like it came back. So I had repeat customers. I would look at the car and I'm like, I can still kind of see something there. And what it did was it was just filling the scratches and not polishing the scratches. So I went to a mother's polish. Lasted a long time, but was terrible to buff. So I was talking to one of the McGuire's reps in one of my body shops. They were doing like a demo, and they said, try this. So it's McGuire's M100 is the name of the bottle. This stuff is freaking awesome. If you're using 3,000, even 2,000, you can almost hand rub this stuff. It's an awesome polish. Not real expensive. I think that bottle's like $26. I mean, it'll last you a year. But it's an awesome rubbing compound to use if you guys need stuff out there to get rid of small scratches or scuffs. It's awesome.
Interesting.
So for people that don't know what toe cut is, you want to explain what toe cut is?
Toe cut is a super fine. They call it a wet dry sandpaper. So we used to take 2,000 grit and wet it and polish on a car to try to get scuffs or imperfections out. Now they make a product called toe cut. It's a little square disc, sticky backside, and you can wet sand without adding any water. It's they call it wet dry sanding. It's an awesome product. So I've been using it for some time. I think I turned you on the
Yeah.
black last year, and then Dave uses I think the pink.
Yeah, pink. The pink is nice. I use the pink now when I do wet sand.
Pink is great.
Pink is good. So
All of my tools are at the shop. I was working on a hail car today, so I left them at the shop because I'll be finishing that up tomorrow. So I didn't bring anything with me. I literally just got home from a hail car.
I got my favorite thing in the world. I came prepared like I always do. Got me a little tab tape here.
There you go.
This is a replacement from Brandon David. I had an issue with one of them, and he sent one right out. But telling you right here, get your tab tape for the big damage. Cola Fria. It's awesome.
Maybe I'll try that out. So the tool I have is the PDR Finesse.
Yeah.
This bad boy saves time today. Yeah, there it is. This one's actually the 245. Yeah. You memorize these tools. All right, yeah. So the 245. And so I had the brand new Affinity like Q60, the two-door one. Mm-hmm. And the sound deadening is very thick in that door, at least where I was working at. He had a sharp dent. The paint was actually missing off of it. And this tip right here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this tip right here just chewed right through that sound deadening. Just was able to just push right through it. So saved me a lot of time for my traditional tool. And then that throw, right? So here's the handle. And then look how long that is right there. So this angle right here was well, I was able to get plenty of leverage when I was actually pushing this tool. I probably saved every bit of 30, 40 minutes working that dent out.
That ratchet handle, that's a pull up, correct? It's a pull up mechanism.
I believe he makes a pull down and a pull up. So this is a
pull
up.
It's called a reverse. Yeah. So it's a 245R, which is you push down on the handle. The regular 245 is the pull up.
Yeah, okay. So it pulls up, moves, and you can swivel the handle up. So you can swivel the handle. Works. This thing works well.
It's awesome tool.
Every dollar. And thanks, Dave, for letting me pick that up. So that was good. Anything else you have, Ryan? I have one more, but
I got one more. I've got some new glue in the mail in one of my packages, and it's Anson White. It's made for wintertime. I haven't quite used it. Just came in the mail, so it looks like we're going to have some cold weather later in the week. I'm going to give it a try, see what happens. I guess it's kind of like their snowflake. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. I'm still a cactus green guy year round. So
yeah, that cactus green, whew, man, it pulls. It pulls. So my next tool is the Dent Craft Ultra Large Whale Tail. So this thing, I actually have the whole set. So they make
love that set. Love that whole set.
It's pretty expensive for normal.
Yeah, but it's a one-time buy.
You're right. It is a one-time buy. So, but that's how. Whoops. That's how wide that is. I would say maybe 2 inches. So, but yeah, this thing. When you get inside a brace, you get one of those loose braces, like a Toyota Corolla or something like that, and you can actually leverage right off that brace now. So
Nissan,
the Nissans, yeah. So it's the extra wide whale tails, guys. If you guys are interested that are watching, like I said, the set. Just go ahead and get the set. That's what I recommend. And I do have probably about 15 different whale tails, but you always need that one with that extra reach. So
just that little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep.
Yep. So Dave, you don't have anything. Ryan, you have anything else?
No, that's all I got this week.
So I just got an email before we start up from Mobile Tech RX. Did any of you guys get that email?
About the X-ray?
Yes. Yep. So I haven't read through it, but I did use the parts pricing today, and it worked extremely well on a hail estimate. I was able to get the price for that part, and all the place that I wanted to order from right there from the app. So if any of you techs out there that don't have this software, Mobile Tech RX, you are missing out tremendously. And make sure you get the add-on X-ray, and then you get to see if it's aluminum or high strength steel panels. So
John and Eric over there, their customer services, I mean, they're on it. You send them a message even through Facebook Messenger. I mean, they are on top of their game. So you'll get an answer from one of them within a couple minutes.
I had a situation, wasn't their fault at all, but we just couldn't see if the customer was actually clicking on our emails, a certain client. And he worked through this entire problem through the back end to see if they were actually opening up these emails, if they were sent, and all this stuff you can't see in the normal app, because this is how I do my payments. And the client was actually saying that he didn't receive any emails, so he's not paying. So I was able to gather all the emails that were sent and where they were sent to, and actually show that it wasn't open. So that was definitely good that they were able to help me out with that, because they didn't have to do that at all. So definitely a good group of guys. I recommend that software. Now I haven't used any other software for the guys that use the other ones, but I have no need to switch at all. So
when I switched last year, from paper to that, I actually sat down with Recon Pro, just trying to figure out the benefits and the
Okay.
the differences. I actually also sat down with the what was the other one? PDR
Mobile, I think it was.
Yeah,
Is
PDR
it
Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
He had one feature I really liked, but now it seems like Mobile Tech RX has it with the CCC integration with estimates. He was the original first one to have that.
Right.
But
I'll
tell you,
love that.
Mobile Tech RX is awesome.
Yeah. Definitely. So let's get started with some Q&As. Since it's 7:00. Let me pull up this chat. Does anybody have the chat up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any questions coming on, or are we gonna?
How do you get them to approve the discount pricing through the app for the CCC for the parts?
I think it's all listed as a list. So I don't think they showed the discounted rate. I think it's all the list priced on the parts.
What do you?
He means like your 20% discount if you find out how much the part's going to be. I think it comes right off of a national parts supplier list.
Yeah, so when I did it today, it said cost and it also said retail. Yeah. So I was able to obviously sell it at retail. And this is to the insurance company or whatever. They, sometimes they say, well, we can get it cheaper. But I was able to call. Actually, I had options to call like 5 different places. This was a GM belt molding, and I was able to call 5 different places. So if one didn't accept my discount, I just went on to the next. So I don't have a problem. But I normally partner up with a local, like all my local dealers, and kind of get it, or a body shop, let them order it. So I think that's what he was asking, right? But it uses your I think it uses your GPS to kind of pinpoint you, and then gives you, a local parts supplier also. It says that was the matrix advantage. You're getting larger discounts on parts. Okay, I didn't know that. So I guess you're able to call them and say you're a part of the Mobile Tech RX, I guess. Is that what he's saying, Ryan?
Yeah, that's what it reads. I haven't tried
I didn't know that. I haven't tried that. I would definitely try that, though. That sounds good. Any other questions that we missed?
No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like everybody's okay. So we do have some industry news today.
Yes.
We had one of our tool suppliers, Dent Technology, which you know that I'm a fan of, and I'm good friends with those guys over there, had a terrible fire on Tuesday. It was a structure fire. Building burned for 5 hours, all the way to the ground. I spoke to Joe today, and I spoke to Jeremy this morning. They're just trying to comprehend exactly how to handle the situation. They have a couple things going on. They have their black box, which we've talked about before, which is a monthly subscription. I'm a subscriber. I think Chris is too.
Yep.
We haven't even received our box this month, but I think we're all kind of right now understanding, hey, you're in a bind. There's not. It's out of your control. So it's going to be a little bit of a process for them. Just bear with them with the black box and their website stuff. I think they were going to make some adjustments on the website with ordering tools because a lot of their inventory was damaged. And I know Jeremy took a pretty big personal hit with some of his personal stuff in the building. So they're just trying to get all of the stuff together with the insurance company and get it squared away. So just bear with those guys. If you're waiting on a black box or waiting on a tool, they're going to take care of you. You just need to just bear with them through this process. So, but it was definitely a total loss on the building.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. It was crazy.
It started at 10 in the morning, something like that. So,
do they know what caused it?
They don't know yet. They're still investigating. With the structure being that badly burned, it's going to take some time. And all that does is slow down the insurance process. So, it's going to be a little bit of a distance. I know they were out today looking for some facilities to try to get the business to keep rolling forward. With the black box stuff, they're trying to get some other dent companies involved with product. So, so everybody just keep that in mind, and hopefully they get back on and make another strong company.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking forward to the black box this go round, because I actually give them away to my techs. So it's a nice little gift that I give them. We have like a point system at the company, so whichever one has the highest points gets
what
the
a
black
nice
box.
boss. What a nice boss. Maybe I should come work for
Just
you.
a team leader. I ain't even a boss. Okay. No, man. Boss of they boss their own selves. It's it's a part of the team. If you don't put out what the team needs, then gotta go.
If you do have any info on the black box or Dent Tech, I believe it's Rebuild Dent Technology at Gmail. I don't remember the exact email. I'll pull it up in a minute, just so if anybody has any questions. Obviously, they're not answering the phone.
Oh, they have an email that you could.
Yeah, it's like Rebuild Dent Technology at Gmail. I think it is. It's up on his Facebook page.
Okay, it's not on his website yet, right?
No.
Let's see, they may have put it up. Let me see if their website changed. Hold on. Oh.
So you had a hail car today, Davo.
Yes, I did. I did. Wasn't too bad. No. Hood, fenders, deck lid, quarter panel, rails, and then all I have is the roof left, and the roof is literally only that like third or that quarter of the roof, because everything else is the panoramic roof. So started at about 10 this morning, got done around 5. Another one came in, had a right estimate for that.
Is it new hail or is it from last year?
It's from last year, actually. So that little storm that I had last August, it is some leftover. So I'll be fixing those up for tomorrow, and then back to my regular scheduled retail.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
that rail looked like it was beat. It was like 50, 60 dents in that rail.
Yeah, it was a lot of glue pulling. A lot of glue. But it pulled nice. It pulled really, really well.
Yeah. Kia Sorento?
Yes.
Yeah, so those pulled pretty good. We just did
no issues with that.
them. Yeah.
But I do have this new Kia Optima. I think it's a new Kia, newer Kia. Let me see the year of it. Laminated glass. Kind of was surprised. Was very surprised. It's a 2014 Kia Optima. The front windows are laminated. And then the hood has that honeycomb hood. So it's limited access as well. So
aluminum, or is it just honeycomb? Because mostly
it's just honeycomb. I think it might be high strength steel. Let me check my Mobile Tech RX real quick. It is high strength steel. It is high strength steel.
High strength steel.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So I wrote it up for high strength steel. And yeah.
So tomorrow. So just for the guys watching, if you guys have any questions for us, please leave it in the chat menu, and we'll definitely answer that your questions. So if you guys can.
Yeah, someone asked, did I use the gangrene on the hail damage? And that's the only thing I use. Gangrene tabs. I think I was using the 10 millimeter size.
Boy, I tell you, I'm trying to get people on this live chat, texting them. Also, guys, if you guys want, we're going to have hopefully a special guest next time. So I just definitely want to let you guys know that we'll be having some guests on this show. So stay tuned, please. I'm sorry, Ryan. You can go ahead.
It looks like Mark's asking if you're doing any hail damage for your body shop, what percentage do you split with them? He says, I do 75-25. Really depends on the shop.
The volume.
I mean, Dave was in town last year with me doing some hail, and there were some shops that said keep it all.
Keep it all. I mean, that was nice.
So,
and they did all the R&I too.
Yes. I got them trained. They're trained. So it really depends on the agreement you set up when the hail hits. So
yeah, it doesn't work for all. I mean, there's some companies that come in and say we'll give you 55% back or whatever, and they don't budge. They don't care for that. They want quality work, and they know when the storm is gone, we're the ones there that they can call at 5 o'clock and say, hey, I got one. Can you come tomorrow morning or whatever? And we there. So build that relationship with them. But I will say 25% is the max I do go in my company.
Mm-hmm.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm in the mic. I do apologize for that. It's 7 days.
Skip some. No.
Quick answer, no. So
14 days is not enough either, because I thought I knew everything after 14 days.
It's 7 months.
I trained with the company, very first company I ever trained with. It was 2 weeks of training, and I thought I knew everything once I was done. And boy, was I wrong. 7 months of training. Is that enough?
Where were you at
is
in 7 months?
It depends on what do you mean by enough. Are you working on Bentleys and Ferraris, or are you working on Toyota Corollas? You know,
help out a wholesale line.
There's a big difference there. So some people pick it up quick. You know, it really depends on the damage.
I picked it up quick. I just, from what I was told, just coming up, through the ranks, the damage that I was working on and pushing myself to work on, and the quality that was coming out of that, I picked it up easy. 14 days wasn't enough, but if you 4, 5, 6 months, a year in, 3 years in, the damage that I was trying to tackle, and actually doing a quality job on, a lot of other seasoned techs were surprised. So I mean, it's not for everyone,
Right,
but I do think with enough practice, it can be for everyone. But it's taking other people's methods and understanding how to use them properly and kind of create your own little process of how you do things. Us three do all things differently. Yeah, we're going to start it then completely different. We're going to start with a different tool. You're going to grab something and I'm going to grab something different, but the end result should be the same.
So what I've learned with the few guys that I've trained is that everybody just learns differently. So the first 2 to 3 weeks, I'm trying to figure out if I tell you something or if I show you something, or what's the way you learn. Maybe you need to actually do it and not me actually tell you how to do it. So you need more time on that hood. So there was a guy that I trained. Really, it kind of pushed me to another level, because he was by a book. So when he gets stuck, he wanted some literature to go back on. So I had to, at night, write that literature that I was used to just saying, fix this, push here, try it, you know, and kind of watch why, the reason why they push there, or what are they seeing. So that my last guy that I trained, just really taught me that I, as a teacher, I have a lot to learn, and I'm always learning better ways to teach people, to train.
I think the other thing is your network of techs around you. There's plenty of times, hey, what do you think about this? Or Dave, Chris, and I'll send a text, play or no play. You know what I mean? We'll kind of bounce things off of each other.
Pass or play.
I had a Porsche the other week, and I called those guys and just said, hey, what kind of tool or what's the game plan with this? And, it's all in your network too. So if you're starting out, always get that network of guys that can help you walk through some stuff that you just don't know about. It'll save you way more aggravation than it's worth. So
Quick question. What is your approach on laminate glass side windows? So I guess that was side windows. I guess he's talking about just door windows.
Doors.
Yeah.
Okay.
6 inches up, metal window shield, and a pump wedge, and you'll do okay. I'm not gonna say they don't break because they do break.
I just don't. It depends on the situation. I'll pull that glass in a heartbeat. I just, oh man,
I used to, but now I just dive in, and it is what it is.
I had a 17 Escalade today, and brand new. It had 4,100 miles on it, and the customer was waiting. He's got to go to DC, so I was like, if I break this glass, it's just gonna be crazy. So I said, I have to take this glass out, sir. That's where I know he's gonna be back in that car in an hour and a half. So guaranteed. So
took you 3 hours to take the glass out, but it's okay.
Yeah, it took me an hour. It's okay. But yeah, so like Ryan said, 6 inch up and metal window guard, which we were supposed to show you the new Daycraft metal window guard, but I forgot it at home. I mean, at the shop. So next week we'll definitely bring that. It is a stout window guard. Ryan, do you want to talk about it?
It is an awesome window guard. I have an old one from Dent Gear that I've used for years. The Dentcraft one, it's super thick. I mean, it is thick.
Yeah.
And
it fell on the bottom.
Before I got it, I watched Hudson from Dent Gent's video with the reflection. It's actually mirror polished, so you can kind of see down inside the door. It's actually a brilliant idea. But they do say it's going to get scratched up. Mine, really, I've only used it once or twice, but it comes in its own package, little like sleeve for it to slide in. It's an awesome window guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I go in. So I go in like metal window, regular wedge. If I break it, I buy it. If I break it, I buy it. That's it. I'm just very careful with the way I'm pushing. If it's something extensive, the glass is going to come out. I'm taking the door apart, glass is going up. I'll do the necessary R&I. But if I'm fixing little door dings, I'm doing a nice metal window wedge. I'll do 2 wedges sometimes, 1 on each side, depending on how tight that window opening is. But yeah, I'm all about fixing cars with laminated glass.
So
I have broken them, but
yes,
I think we all have.
So let's go through some quick questions here. What is the average cost of that glass if you do break it? I know I've broken a few. Actually broken 2 in one day. They definitely are about $500 is as cheap as I've found them for. I did a Rolls Royce, and I think Dave, you told me that price was around like $2,000 or something.
A 2012 Bentley GT Continental passenger window is $1,000. You cannot call anyone to get it. The vehicle, it has to come straight from Bentley, and then it's also installed by Bentley as well. Yeah, so you just can't call Safe Light. Your auto glass guy may be able to get it, but it's highly unlikely.
They don't even want to touch it. When you call them, they go, nah.
Yeah. So
and it looks like there's another question about the diameter of the shaft of the tool. What would you recommend? And the length? Length, pretty much the most universal length is 24. The diameter really depends. Any of them. any door tool, I guess he's asking.
I got
diameter. Yeah, I've got a mixture of everything. It's kind of whatever works.
Half inch, 5/16. Yeah, all of it.
Then he
and why 6 inch?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say why 6 inches up on the laminated glass?
Because you're not pressing on that edge.
Yep.
The edge is the weakest part of that glass. So it's like a windshield.
I broke that Bentley window with the ultra thin whale tail. So the thin one, and I just one little turn, and it. Metal window guard ever since. Ever since.
it ain't done until that window's all the way up, and I go, yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Avalons have it, and my one of my techs said that the brand new Priuses have them too. So
yeah,
and the Camry's body line is insane on the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, they're not going to be fun.
It's
not
just like the new Cherokees. That's super tight. I hate that car right there is my nemesis. I hate that car. I get them all the time, and they are just beat on the body lines every time.
Didn't doubt that bad boy, yo. It pushes it does wonders on those dents. All right, so I believe mobile dent text asked. Let me see if I can find. I think he was just saying something about do you do retail or dealerships? So we'll just go over. Dave, you want to start dealerships or
retail? I do 2 small dealerships and body shop, but 90% retail, and I love it. And I
Ryan,
love
you
it.
want to go?
Me, I only really service 2 dealers. Almost, probably 70% of my work is body shops, and I do quite a bit of retail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it all. So 33% on everything: body shops, retail, and wholesale. So I don't kind of go towards one avenue. So I like them all. And everybody has their place.
I like them too. I do. You know, I would like to service maybe a couple more body shops and stuff like that. Resources are limited right now, but the wholesale, market, I just think that, at least for me, and kind of what I hear from other techs as well, just the kind of the other stuff that comes along with the wholesale accounts is just not, there's more stress involved than there is actually about pushing dents, which is what we do.
Stress, yes. Stress.
Yeah, not needed. So just to answer, I think Jonathan's questions, I guess he was asking if the glass breaks. So he's asking for some Mercedes. I did an S550 about maybe 5-6 years ago, and it was $580 just for the glass. Honda, I haven't broken a Honda, but again, I haven't seen any laminate glass under $500 or $450 or something. So
I don't think any Hondas are laminated.
Yeah. So, but anyway, they pretty much start at like $450 and go up. So that's that.
All the new F-150s have laminated glass front doors. Yeah, every single one of them.
And the Gems have for like years. These ones have them too for like since like 2007, I believe. So I just take them out. What do you guys think about that new tailgate? Have y'all seen the new tailgate on the Denali, Dave?
I have not.
So it's like some, I don't know, Transformers type tailgate. It like splits in half. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh, that's just going to be insane to try to repair anything on that tailgate.
Oh, okay. Now I see it.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
It's insane. So it's a new GMC. I believe it's the new GMC Denali.
Yeah.
I may be wrong, but
2019. So what is the purpose?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's a step.
Oh, a step. Yeah. And then it can stop some of the what you may be carrying in the bed. So,
okay. Yeah, I see.
It's crazy.
That'll be fun. And I'm sure it'll be aluminum or something like that too, right?
I'm pretty sure. They actually have a carbon fiber bed, so I think it's either one or the other. So stuff is getting more and more expensive, it seems. So One Piece said, how much kick for door tools? So we went over the tools. All right, cool. We went over the tools. And to me, this has the longest kick. Yes. And I would say it's about a 6-inch kick. It's the longest in the industry. And I don't understand why. Awesome. I don't understand why more companies don't build a tool with a long kick. I don't really understand it. So, but my second tool that I go to all the time is the Dentcraft Black. I think they call it the door set. I think they call it for I believe it's $199 or $219. That is the best set to get right now.
Yes.
Get two of them bad boys.
So, the wires, the short ones are so stout. I mean, you can't bend those things.
Yeah, so, the kick on that looks like the Drew's Tools door tool that I use all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's same concept. It's shaved down the middle or down the shaft, but it's got a fat handle on it. Those finesse handles, I do have to say over time I don't trust them. This Drew's Tools all in one. It's a big stout handle. I think it's a 6-inch handle or something like that. And it has the same sharpness as that finesse there. I need to pick up the longer one actually.
I did hear that the handle sometimes wears out. I don't know how the warranty is with them. It's just a little gear if you guys can see that.
Yeah, it'll over time. I think it will strip out, especially for someone who's mobile like me. The tools see the elements. So if those gears are exposed and stuff like that, it can over time. I've sent one back. It broke off within a year. I've sent another one back and broke off in 6 months. I have two that I've had for I think over 2+ years, and they're kind of going strong. So.
And I think you just said, Dave, you think that the ratcheting blem is the best ratcheting tool that you've had.
I do, because it's all enclosed. I finally had one. Yeah. I just had one break on me the other day, and I think I've had that for 5 years. So I mean, I've definitely made my money back with it. I just like that it's all enclosed. It's still a circle. It's still a stout handle. I can really crank on some damage with those. I really like the blem.
So 7 days training, C. Miller. I don't know if you guys heard us, but 7 days training to us is not enough time. Just to give you some more insight, my guys go through 6 months training. So doesn't mean they're not working on anything for a whole 6 months, but they're not working on anything for a whole 3 months. Or any customers' cars for a whole 3 months. Any other questions here that we may have missed before we kind of start strolling down?
Looks like the Dent Man's the next one, Chris.
Okay. So what has he said? I would rather do big dents on the fenders than a deep ding. Yeah. Where's the limit of depth and the diameter of the ding that is fixable? I believe it's 1.3, 1.4. It's kind of weird because
depends on
each
the metal.
dent is different. Yeah. And then the metal. Yeah. So you can kind of see it and just say, man, that's not going to go. But with that new PDR name all butchered up.
Power
thing
PDR,
called the PDR
box?
Man.
Power
PDR box. It seems like you can fix those. So the Dent Man, you may want to check that out. I need to order one here soon and get a review going, so I can get better insight on that particular product.
And then there's another question in there, just asking about quoted photos.
So how do you start a sharp dent? I think Dent Man was the last.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And
rubber.
If it's sharp, I start with a sharp tool. I don't start with rubber. Yeah, because you will deform everything around it. That's what I look. I want it to come up and only come up the dead center, because if I start kind of moving like the entire area up, still deep inside, I pretty much stretch the dent. So
if I have a sharp dent, what I like to do is I try to go around it and kind of bring some of that back to the center.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can do that,
and then work the center. That's just, I mean, I would do that on a flat panel almost too sometimes. If I need to, if it's really, really sharp, kind of try to bring that metal back to the center, without really deforming it, and then start really working that center. But I'm going to use a sharp tip first.
Yeah, sharp tip. Now, I think if you guys follow me on Instagram, I just did a Chevy nasty dent on the body line, very sharp. Wasn't stretch, I don't think, but it pushed really nice. And I started that dent with a what was it, a Ultra Dent Tools, kind of like the push cap fittings, but without the fitting, and just like 2 layers of tape. That was the best, because obviously you can't start with it's silver, so any poke or anything, that silver, that flicker is gonna lay. It's not gonna lay right. That metallic is not gonna lay. So I did have like 2 or 3 wraps of the tape, and then that's basically what I used to complete the entire dent, and finish it up with no tape, obviously. So Lee had a question. This might be one good for you, Dave. You do a lot of estimating over. I guess he was asking.
How do you quote based on photos emailed or texted to you? Usually it is hard to see the extent of the damage in poor photos or poor lighting. Do you pad the estimate? I mean, I quote based on photos, emailed to me and texted to me. You know, if it's poor lighting, if it's poor, you know, a poor photo, I'll just ask for more. I will just they've already taken the time to send me the one. Can you send it from a couple different angles, please? I can also refer them to my website too, which tells them how to do it. Send them from a 45-degree angle, stuff like that. So I have no problem. You know, if they send it over, I have no problem replying back and asking for more. You know, if they want us to go ahead and fix it for them.
So do you put a disclaimer? Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan.
I always give a range. I call it a good faith estimate, and it always seems to work really well to where you're looking in between 300 and 400, you know, just to, if it's something where I'm kind of questionable there, I always give myself a little bit of a range. Seems to work. You know, sometimes you'll look at it and you're like, there's no way I can do that for 400. And then you have to figure it out from there. But if you're in that range, it's close enough to where I'm like, okay, you're here. Let's just get the dent done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have a disclaimer? Because I know if I do something, I always end it with a little disclaimer. This is just an estimate. A technician needs to see it in person to give an exact amount. Do y'all have anything like that?
I just tell them it's good faith.
And yeah, that's a good one, though. That's a good one.
I just give them the estimate. If they want to do it, let's do it.
So you eat it. If it's something different, you just go like, all right. It is
Why not? I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I'm already here. Why try to make a couple more bucks? You know, I'm already here. Let's just get it done. You know, and I'm going to be able to see if, you know, typically it's with creases. Typically creases are kind of like the hard ones to kind of gauge, because they're well, it doesn't show up in, you know, on the photo. Please just send it, or just send it. So I usually still ask, well, I can't get a good photo. You're still able to kind of see something. You just don't see that it goes from the quarter panel all the way through the rear door, and then you only got half the quarter panel and half the door. So at that point, though, you know, it's gonna either take me half hour, another hour. But yeah, I'll eat it, you know. And I haven't run into too many issues. Typically, it's just something that I thought was repairable and then I couldn't. And that's with like deep damage, where I think it's gonna be okay. I had an Audi A7 golf ball shot to the door pretty deep, half in the brace, half out. Ended up oil canning on me, you know, and I couldn't get it to lay flat. It was in, it was out. And I ate, I think it was 3 hours of my time. I just, you know, it's not repairable. I'm sorry. I tried the best I could, and that was it. I had the whole door apart and everything. You know, and I didn't even charge for it. But that's because my policy is if we don't fix it, we don't charge you.
Yep.
And honestly, why do you have a policy like that? Why do you feel that you need to do that?
Customer service.
For me, it's customer service. For me, I mean, if someone came over here to my house and said, hey, I tried to fix your heater for 4 hours. I'm sorry, but you're still going to have to pay $125 for me coming out. I'm still going to be mad about that. I'm still going to be upset.
Salty.
Yeah, I am. I'm just, well, what did I now have to pay someone else to come out, you know, to try and fix it. I would rather leave a better taste in someone's mouth and eat the time and the money than ruining that reputation by, you know, here's another, I need sign this invoice for, you know, for whatever it may be, my time being travel time or whatever. You know, we don't charge for coming out. We don't charge for, you know, it's just part of the service. And if we don't fix it, we don't get paid. You know, I'm in the business to make customers happy with our service. And if we can't make them happy, if it's not fixed, then I'm not going to charge them.
Yeah. I had an interesting thing that happened to me the other week. I told both of you and Chris, but I figured I would share it. So I had a customer call, had a dent on his car, sent not very good pictures. I was on the phone with him a couple times. He always seemed like he was rushed. He actually hung up on me 3 times. So I called him back just to, hey, I think we got disconnected. Did you still want that appointment on Thursday? And I was just going to go just to handle him, just to get it taken care of. So I drive out there. I tell him I give him an hour notice. It's kind of out of my way. Pull up to his house. It's not his house. It looks like a house he's rehabbing. So I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there an extra 20 minutes. The customer drives up behind me, gets out. I walk around to the back of the car, and the picture that he sent me is just a quarter of the damage. It was probably another 6 inches longer through a body line, like a hen egg on the body line. And I look at him, and when we originally talked, he said, will you do this for $225? And I told him, no, it would be, at least $250. It's a good faith estimate. Well, everybody else is telling me $225. And I just said, then call, if you're going to use them, use them. I was already kind of on that edge of him not being a good customer, somebody that's, you kind of pick and choose your customers sometimes. And he was not going to be a customer I wanted to deal with, but I wanted to make him happy because I was highly recommended. So I look at the damage, and I said, there's no way I can do this for $250. It was probably going to take me 2 hours, maybe 3 hours to fix. It was bad. And he literally walks around me, gets in his car, and drives away. I have no respect. No respect. And he looks at me and he points at me and tells me I'm too expensive. And I told him $325, $350, which I thought was fair, even though I knew how long it was going to take me. So, you do get those customers you're just never going to make happy. He was never going to be happy. He got my information off of Yelp, didn't leave a review, thank God. But, sometimes you're going to win the customer. Sometimes he was a customer that I knew from Get that I was never going to make 100% happy.
Yeah, but you were trying, though. You were trying to please him. Yeah.
But it's the first time that the whole time I've been doing this, that somebody's actually walked around me and got in their car and just left me standing there at his house. So.
See you later.
I don't think I have not had anything like that. I've had people not show up on me, but I don't think I've actually had an encounter like that.
I had another one. I had 2 in 1 week. I had another customer drive away. I told him an estimate for 2. He had an appointment at 11. He came in. I told him it'd be around $200 because he would not send me pictures. It's an LS 460. And I told him $200, no big deal. He's like, let me go to Wawa and get some cash and I'll be back. He never came back. So,
Oh, man.
It was the week. It was the week.
Yeah. So you guys ever use that Stanliner's tool? Dave, did you buy any of those?
I did not. I've heard. Who was I talking to? I know someone bought one.
Or two. You know what? Hudson may have bought one, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he bought the snake.
Okay.
Yeah,
he bought that
Hudson from Densheds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said he really, really liked it.
Yeah, I gotta get that. That's gonna be on my little list of things to do.
I have no desire.
I like the way they make it. I mean, they're handmade tools, which I'm not knocking any other way, but I don't know. They look nice. They look like honestly, the Ultra Dent tools have never rust on me, and I kind of like that. So I don't know. They look like they're well built tools. So I'll support them. Any other question? Oh, your minimum price. What is your minimum price? The price that you will not go under.
$99.
$75 for me. That's body shop. Come there, take care of that door. $75. Leave. Retail, little small little dent. He's gonna be back for the next little small little dent. So I just say $75. Keep it moving.
But they're they're coming to him.
Coming to me. They're coming to me. So I'm not going to them.
So he has that luxury, So I guess I don't charge for coming out and doing the repair, but our minimum is 150. That's the minimum is 150 for, I tell everyone, for a dent the size of a quarter. I'd say standard door ding nickel. But there have been times where, it's something easier, something more simple, and I'll drop it down to 100. But I try to, and 99% of the time, I do not do less than $150. And it's worked. You know what I mean? A lot of my customers, I try to preach the value of what we're bringing to them. And a lot of my customers see that. It's portrayed on all of our social media. It's portrayed on the website as well. What we are saving you from. So yes, you may think 150 for your little standard door ding is a lot, but you can go to the body shop and it's going to be a lot more. And the process is going to be completely different from what we're doing and more expensive.
Yeah. So you use the benefits of PDR to kind of, sell it, which I agree. So
what's up, Nick? Nick is here from Chicago.
Yeah, Nick.
That's Nick. Okay.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. So, any other questions? Did we miss anything?
If you ain't happy, you don't pay. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of times. If I'm not 100% happy, you can usually tell the difference if you're somewhat happy with the repair. It's pretty competitive here, so I try to make sure it's a good repair.
So I got some questions for you guys. I was actually thinking about bear with me, guys. So as the PDR is evolving, the industry is evolving, it seems like more techs are just pushing the limits. The question is, why do you guys constantly push them? I think everybody, Dave, Ryan, you guys we always push the limits. Hey, sometimes I send you a picture and go, what do you think? I'm trying it. So why do we do that? Why do you do that?
On the other day.
I know. I got like 2 referrals off that. Passion. There you go. I like it. I'm with you. Dave, same thing?
Yeah, I love what we do. I love being able to say when someone says, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, all right, well, there we go. Let's try it. That Porsche 911 that I did, Ryan straight up said no to me. And I said, well, I'm going to see what I can do. He's like, no, man, I'm going to see what I can do. And, and it's stuff like that. It's always that person that will say yes. And or that's gonna say no or keep saying no, and I want to say yes, or vice versa. I always try to keep that in the back of my head that if someone else were to be contacted, if another company would be contacted, what will they say? Will they have someone capable of fixing it? So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do it or say yes. Even if the stuff that I'm saying yes to, I'm going to go ahead and assume that a lot of other technicians in the area are probably turning it down or just don't want to spend the time on it, or don't think they can get the money for it. So, I just try to push the limits, and that's because it's my passion. I love doing it. I wouldn't spend the time and I wouldn't spend the effort on it if I didn't love what we actually do. I wouldn't spend 9 hours on one dent, no lunch, no break, and to just keep, to push that limit.
Mm-hmm. It's like an artist, me personally, I wouldn't sit there and draw. I can't draw, but me taking a dent out, I just love it. So I'm with you, Dave, on that one.
I think everybody's situation is different.
Yes.
Like me, I'm on the go from 6 o'clock in the morning until 5 or 6 at night. Dave has, less appointments a day. I mean, for me, it's just a crazy, crazy day every day, which I'm very lucky. But I couldn't sit on one car for 8 hours and not be 100%. I could fix it. You know what I mean? When you looked at that Porsche, you still weren't 100% sure that you were going to get it to where it ended up.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's just the situation's different per tech. I talk to my buddy Dave Johnson all the time, and he's driving home at 3 o'clock sometimes. And I'm like, man, that must be nice, you know? So, you know, it's all situation based, I think.
Me, I think, you know, I just love seeing the customer kind of smile and happy. I mean, some of them just jump in the car and go, and I'm like, man, did they realize I just spent 3 hours on this? Like molding. I could have stopped like an hour and a half ago, but it's like it is perfect now, and they just thank you, and just go. And I'm like, all right. And then some of them I go, wow, and like to me, that's what keeps me going throughout the day. That's why I look at the den and I'm going, I want to make sure that if he has a little cousin or an uncle that's a body man, he's going to look back and say, I don't see anything. Which fender is it? So that's what pushes me too.
Then he comes back to you for a second repair and you're looking at it, you're like, probably could have.
Nah,
and
man.
He's happier than ever.
Sometimes I'm like, that's a new car? Did you get this painted? Dang, I can't even tell. I had one today. She was like, she literally went to the fender I worked on. And she was riding around this den for like 2 months. And then she went to the other side. And I'm like, what is she doing? Which fender was it? That's what I'm talking about.
Like, you're on the wrong side of the car, man.
Yeah. She said, was it here? I said, no, it was here. Oh, man, I was cheesing inside, boy. Couldn't tell me anything.
We got a question in here. What car models have the paint that is hard to glue pull?
Subaru.
The absolute worst car to glue pull is a Subaru.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Lamborghini quarter panel.
Oh, I don't know.
Lamborghini quarter panel.
I don't work on many of those.
Terrible. So
I haven't had any issues, so I can't talk, but Subaru for sure.
Yeah, Subaru. And the reason is I don't well, maybe Ryan probably will better explain that. It just seems like it pulls the paint. What
I had one a couple weeks ago that I would spray the alcohol in there just to clean the panel, and the rag was sticking, like the paint was still wet.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, and it's happened multiple times.
Interesting.
Different Subarus. So I don't know what it is. It's just something they're using. It's a Subaru, you know, and I get a ton of Subarus all the time.
Cheapest paint or something. I had a brand new one. Low miles, door, small little dent. Of course, we're going to glue pull it. We're not going to take the whole door apart. And it just pulled the paint clear right off. So I was like, I don't know what to do. And then it just did it on the other side. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I didn't have to pay for it. They just rolled it into the estimate. And I warn the body shop if it's a Subaru, I'm like, look, I don't care what's on there. It's actually better if it's a repaint, if you ask me. But this Subaru paint, the odds go up. Like you have a 50% chance something's pulling. So
the clear packing tape still works. I still use the clear packing tape even on the Subarus. So depends on if it's hail and you're doing 50 dents on the rail. I mean, you're not gonna be able to use a clear packing tape. It's gonna take you forever.
Just put one long strip along the whole rail.
Do we have any questions?
When dealing with a customer, do you explain options such as what a wholesale repair might look like if they're on a budget, or do you always go for retail finish?
Always retail.
Yeah.
I don't even do that. Make it look better.
Make it look better.
Wrong person. Wrong person.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen with me. I don't do it.
Yeah, I don't like, because I don't know what their standards are. I don't know what their standards of making it look better. I do not know what the customer's standards are for what, we know what a wholesale quality and a retail quality is. They don't. And what is making it look better? Do they think it's just going to go away? Do they think that, I don't even know. Like, you can't gauge that. So it's either fix it, this is the estimate and this is what it's going to be gone, or I'm sure there are other companies in the area that will be glad to do it for a lot cheaper. And that's it. I don't like giving them that option. I'll give them the option of what a body shop will cost and then what we cost. But giving them a better estimate and a retail estimate, no.
Yeah. Now, some of my guys do work on a dealer lot, and they do have to make stuff better. just to please the wholesaler at that particular time. The lot.
That's where that stress comes in.
Yeah, but that's hey, we all came from that type of training.
True.
There's a place for it, but anytime I'm dealing with customers, we do not make it better. If I'm on a dealer's lot, the guys do not drill, even on the dealer's lot. I know it kind of sucks with the time, but I'm preparing them to be good retail techs. So they have to know. And when they jump on hell cars, if all you know how to do is drill into the quarter pound, then that's what you do. And I'm not watching, and then there's going to be an issue. So if they train to not drill into the quarter panel, to maybe some R&I, take the tail light out, and they do that on the lot, it is what it is. The guy that managed the cars on the lot, he's going to look back and say, man, that guy actually takes pride in his work. He's taking that tail light out. And it may be a decision that he has to make. Say, man, I don't want the other guy that's drilling holes left and right in my quarter panel. I work for a wholesaler that sells to the auction, and the auction did not accept any cars that had any holes in the like quarter panel and stuff like that. And even in the doors, like if it had one, it was okay. But if it had two or three, I know why we need two or three. But if you're doing $55 cars, it's a little crazy. And he would bring these cars in, and we were doing it. I wasn't drilling anyway, but I was working side by side with another dent guy, and he was just drilling. I mean, he had his helper was drilling the holes as he was coming around the car and fixing the dents. So they Swiss cheese these cars, and he would have to. The wholesaler, he was so cheap. The guy was so the other dent guy was so cheap that he had enough money to pay for them to redo the door jambs, and he was okay with it. So I mean, I guess there's a place for that make better and the access and the holes and all that good stuff. So, but it is what it is. I have another question for you guys. If we don't have any questions up yet. So trying to sell yourself when they do not value quality, how do you what is your pitch on that to get
what do you mean?
Them to kind of understand? Customer, you're sitting there telling them you're the best repair, and they really just, you're getting this body language of, I don't really care for this. Like, what is your play? Like, what do you say to the customer to try to persuade him or her to understand that you want at least this type of repair, if not.
So you're saying as in like a dealership, not so much retail.
So I mean, you could do a dealership, you can do retail. I mean, you can just read people's body language, and you can tell the ones that really care about quality and really that don't care about quality. So just in that,
I've never really run into it. It's a hard question.
You know what I mean? Repeat it again.
So it says when trying to sell yourself, when they don't, value quality as much as you do. Because, a lot of times people say, oh, it's going to be perfect, it's going to be best. And maybe they're not looking for that. But how do you persuade them to say, you know what, this is what they're looking for? This is the reason why.
That kind of goes back to, the question that we had before that VJ had said, the wholesale repair to quality repair. I do a lot of my talking through text message or email. Mm-hmm. So I'm I guess I leave it up to the customer to do their due diligence. There's enough literature out there across Yelp, Instagram, Facebook, website, for them to get an understanding of why we are, the best or why they should go with us. And then once
they don't read.
It's not, but it's not right. But it's so even over the phone. I don't even have to deal with that because over the phone is, where are you guys located? So we're completely mobile. How much do you guys charge? And I steer them away from that.
Yep.
Off the bat. How much do you guys charge? Well, typically we'd like for you to send photos. I'm already getting them away from that price. I don't want to talk price with you. I want to see what the damage looks like. And if you're going to take that time to take those photos and give it to us, and then we'll give you the estimate. And it's typically within a 24 to 48 hour range. So it's still going to be, pretty well. How much do you guys charge? If you could send us photos,
I just tell them there's a bunch.
I know you're calling from your iPhone. I know you're calling from your cellular device. For the most part, you know what I mean? While I'm at work, or I'll do it on my lunch. Okay, cool. That means I already know they care. Oh, I'm going to do it on my lunch break. I'll send it over. All right. So persuading the customer, I'm not here to persuade anyone. If you want to use us, then use us.
So I mean,
I feel like Chris, you sometimes have to do it because they're walking into your shop. It's a lot more face-to-face interaction.
It's an open question. Like I would basically, if I would answer it, I would say, you know, I'm basically going to show them the value of, you know, why PDR is different from the body shop. Because I have customers that come in all the time and say, oh, I could paint it for that.
Right.
And then once I persuade them why they don't want to paint their brand new Escalade, they go, you know what? You're right. And they may leave. That customer that you see on my Instagram right now, that nasty dent, she said, wow, that much? And she took the estimate, and I thought she would never come back.
Yeah.
3 weeks later, she's walking in the door because I don't do my scheduling. So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay. Time to work on this. So she had go ahead, Ryan.
Your confidence level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how you're approaching it, how you're explaining it. It's all in your body language. I think your body language takes over the situation.
Yeah. I mean, I'm explaining the same pros and cons. I'm explaining the body shop is going to do this, that, and the other. This is what it may look like if, you know, John in the back is having a bad day. You could have a two-tone car when that thing leaves the shop. The Carfax report, we're saving you original paint, clear coat,
time,
all of that stuff. They have no idea. A lot of times they have no idea what any of that means. Mm-hmm. Because they're just dropping their car off at the car off the body shop. They just know that it's fixed when it's done. And then it's, you know, okay, yeah, it's been repainted. If you have that customer that cares, you're going to know that they care off of the bat. I don't want it painted. All right, here we go. Now, you know what I mean? That's how I'm judging. I'm not doing it off body language. I'm doing it off voice and what I'm listening to what they're saying. And I'm already kind of grasping their knowledge of an automobile in a general aspect. Like, do they know, well, it's in the front left, but it's kind of up here, you know, it's on the left front fender above the wheel. Okay, he knows what a fender is. He knows what a quarter panel is. You know, she knows what, you know, it's on the roof, but it's kind of whatever. You know what I mean? That's what I'm listening to, and I can kind of gauge already, you know, what my customer's knowledge is.
Mm-hmm.
So I then know what I kind of have to say, but it's never really persuading them to the pros and cons of PDR. It's never really trying to persuade them to do it. This is what we do. This is how we're able to do it. We're able to come to you, home, work, blah, blah, blah. That's what they love. When I say that, oh, where are you guys located? Well, we're completely mobile. We're able to come to you. Oh, what? They love it. They are ready to send photos. They will send them right over to me. And you know, I'll get them the estimate right away. Good. Oh, wow. I don't have to drop my car off. That's what they care about, that they're going to be out of a car for a week and they're going to have to be in a rental.
It's all about time.
It's time. I mean, I'm able to come to you while you're at work and fix it, but I need to see the photos first if I'm able to actually fix it. I try to make it as simple as possible.
I'm reading the comments. But Jonathan, yeah, they do come to my shop. And no, I'm always conscious of how the customer is kind of feeling as I give them a price, as they understanding the process. So, you know, it's an open question. I kind of know what I do at my shop. Most of my customers are actually waiting 2 to 3 days. I'm booked up 2 to 3 days right now. I think the earliest you can get in right now is Thursday right now. So, you know, they're waiting, then they come and the price is a little different. So, or whatever the case may be. So I'm always constantly reading body language, and I'm teaching my guys to actually understand what the true problem is for that customer. Everybody's different. Sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's just getting it out, and it's not the price. So sometimes it's just the price. So it's you got to change and hate each customer. So this was so that everybody can answer, and you guys
sometimes you just don't win.
Yeah,
sometimes you're not going to make them happen. Everybody thinks these jobs are $50. You know, you'll tell them a price, and they're like, "What?"
Well, and all emails all estimates are emailed. It's going to sit in there. It's going to sit in their inbox. So, you know, a lot of people, if they call from the office or something like that, it's going to be right there. You know what I mean? It's gonna be sitting at there staring at them until the next 10 emails come in and kind of, you know, bring it down, bring it down to the bottom where it's in queue or whatever, you know. It's on their phone. It's gonna pop up right on your phone. So, and if you don't have an email, well, can you just give me a price? I need an email address.
Josh Slick asked, when dealing with a nice size crown, do you guys glue pull first or knock down crown, or does it depend on the metal?
I think it depends on the damage.
Yeah, I think
for me, it depends on the damage. There's sometimes where the crowns will lock it up and I can't push, or vice versa. I'll be pushing and I can't get it up because you know.
Yeah. Depends, and even the type of metal. Depends on that too. What the? Any other questions here? Lost mobile guys, time, money. Yeah, I actually have I had a situation when I went mobile and I had a bad experience. I mean, I went to this lady's house and I'd always tell customers a range. I've learned from a guy, actually, one of my good friends does Best Buy, like mobile services or whatever. And he said, always give a customer a range. This is back 5-6 years ago. So I said, all right, I gave her, I believe, from 10 to 12. I get there right around 11:42 or something like that. And she was adamant. You said you would be here at 10. So automatically I'm going, oh, man. I said, ma'am, I can't argue. It's nothing I can do. I said, I do apologize. I was under the impression I gave you a window like we do with all our customers, but there may have been I may have gave you an exact time. Okay. So I'm working. She shows me the car, and the picture had to be from like an iPhone like 2. And I did say 6 years ago, or probably about 4 or 5 years ago, but still, I could not see anything. I couldn't even tell the color of the car. I passed the car and she sent me a tan picture. The car was silver. I didn't even know. So there was 3 dents, as she said. I found 5. I don't like drilling, so I had to R&I the panel. And there was an added cost of about $130 for the extra 2 dents and the R&Is. And she said, okay, no problem. She stuck me in the dirt and she was running the water, so it turned to mud. So I fixed the dent. Everybody's happy. No problem. And keep in mind, guys, like I'm parked kind of away from her street because she's doing a little construction in her yard. She's doing yard work. So I'm doing everything I can. And I said, ma'am, it's done. Are you happy? She said, I'm happy. And she gave me a little letter and said, here's your review. I want you to look at it. And it was just you bait and switch and this and that. And I'm going like, and when I gave her this quote, I said, ma'am, I know the quote is different. If you want to get a second opinion, I can come back out free of charge. And she said, no, I got to get it done. It's fine. Just go ahead and do it. So I was a little shocked at the review that she sent me. Or she typed it up, and then I guess when I left, she posted it or whatever. So she wanted to see my facial expression as I read this review. But after that, I said no more mobile because, it seemed like she never left her house, ever. So she I don't know if she worked or not, but where we live in the city, it's very hard to get around. I mean, they do construction all the time, so you may think it takes an hour and it's 2 hours. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys, Dave and Ryan, you guys understand, but she did not understand that. So it is what it is. So I stopped doing mobile on that. That was it. Nope, no more mobile. You come to me, and I've had good success with it. Actually, customers love it. You just gotta pick your spot. So my spot is not that close to. I mean, it's close to DC, so they can jump in and jump out. I'm at 2 metro stations, so I can always run them out. Run them to there. So,
Chris, do you also train your guys in sales too?
Yes, I do. And that's very hard to do because some people do not have, I would say, as much self-awareness. I'm always conscious of what's going on, kind of what they're thinking. We had a scenario where sometimes I have customers that I know for a long time. And I say, hey, come in. I'm gonna let my guy Tim or any of the new techs come and do an estimate. And he did the estimate, and he was kind of not slow, but at the beginning stages he was just he was doing his thing. But at that time, the customer was just standing there. They had no direction. So I said, how about you politely ask the customer to come in inside? We have chips, coffee, sodas, and water, and all that good stuff. So, have them come inside, and we'll write this estimate. So I said that way the customer's not standing over you while you suction cup a light on his car, which I never like. So I always have a stand now that the guys have. So, it's just be what I'm trying to teach the guys all the time. So, but it doesn't take much. I mean, every month we do an evaluation. They don't know. I'm just sending them on little tasks and seeing how well they do it. And every month there's improvement. So it's really good.
That's good.
It's only a portion of the job. The easy part is pushing the dent. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I love to just push sometimes. Just sit me in the back corner and let me push. Any other questions? Something about R&I tools. Let me see.
Yeah, it was mobile dent tech. Hey Chris, what R&I tools do you use? I use like a snap-on panel popper. I got if you have like a local glass guy, they don't really sell them, but they have them. These little white plastic. I'll bring one next week. It's a little white plastic sliver thing. They work awesome for trim. They use them for like using on urethane. And I also use the O-ring removers from Dentcraft. They sell these little. It's like $11. They're yellow. They're bent weird. They got a real open. They're awesome for like the grab handles, so you don't mar up the grab handle piece. That's an awesome R&I tool.
I have a ton of R&I tools, so I cannot go over everything. A bunch of sockets, Torx. I have a ton of R&I tools.
T45.
I R&I a lot, so I try to get as much as I can. Some of the specialty, I even have extra rivets from those little plastic rivets that you got to drill out from the BMWs. So I keep those on deck. I actually got Amazon sells like an assorted pack of clips. So I just bought those. Actually, those they work. I think they're like $9 for like a 250 piece set. So that works out well. But yeah, I have a lot of R&I tools. Dave, you have just standard tools, or you got anything?
I went to Harbor Freight. No, Harbor Freight. I got their little plastic set, and then 2 Matco like panel poppers, and then that's it.
Nick,
whatever fits into a Milwaukee backpack.
All right, let's see before we end this right here. Whatever fits in. All right, so that's it, guys. You want to kind of end this, Dave? Do a plug, Dave, Ryan.
That's Ryan from RPS Dent Specialists on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, and we are still looking for tech here in the Baltimore area. If you have a resume and you're interested in coming in this area, my email's rpsdentrepair@gmail.com. Or if you have any questions that don't come through this chat and you think about it after, don't be scared to email any of us any of the questions, and we can bring them up for next week. So that's me.
Yeah, you can find me YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Windy City Dent Repair. Email, I just put in the chat there, windycitydentrepair@gmail.com. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, please just give us a shout.
Yeah, I'm Chris, Dentless Touch, Washington, D.C. area. So Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, which I'm not on, and Twitter and LinkedIn. Got to get that LinkedIn. And Facebook, or if I said Facebook,
thanks for coming out again, guys.
Every Monday. 7 p.m.
That was just foul.
Every Monday, 7 p.m. Please, guys, we want to keep
7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. I would assume 5 p.m. Pacific.
I think it's 3, right? 3.
I have no clue. It's 5 o'clock here. So
good night, guys.
Good night, guys. Thank
See you
you
guys.